that's strange. Oh, damn it, we're back. Hey, how's it going? This is the start of my series talking about my trip to Japan. It's going to be overlaid with footage from Japan, and yeah, because some of it will have copyrighted audio, so it makes it easy to just kind of narrate, tell you what happened. I'm going to be looking based on images that I took, and we'll go from there. So we actually took off on the 16th of October. We flew out at 6 o'clock in the morning, which is wonderful. Had to fly to Cairns, which was about a 3-and-a-bit-hour flight. Stayed there for a couple hours, and then flew out from Cairns and went straight to Japan. We went to Narita Airport, Tokyo. That was, again, another 6.5-hour flight. During the day, which is something, gives me time to watch movies and catch up on a little bit of sleep from the 3 hours I'd gotten the night before. We landed, got all of our stuff, pretty easy enough. We, set up our internet because we'd got the eSIMs and whatever, which I recommend if you're getting an eSIM, get it for longer than the period you're going to be there for, because it stopped working on the last day because I had it for 10 days and I activated it on the first day, which was actually meant to be day 11. So that was stupid on my behalf. Should not have done that. But either way, we got the train from the airport all the way out to Tokyo. We went to Chuo City for the Tsukiji, where we had our hotel. So this is me and my partner Helene. We flew out there. We got there probably by 9 p.m. and, set ourselves up. We'd already bought some snacks and whatever at the airport train station, and we were basically good to go after that. We set ourselves in, looked at the view, because we were in a hotel, so it's a big building, and we actually had a balcony, which I've never really ever stayed at a place with a balcony before, and it wasn't a bad view. It had the fish market below us, which we only went to on the last day because it's pricey as shit, so we didn't really actually buy anything there. Helene bought some little snacks, but for the most part we avoided it. And yeah, the hotel we had booked for food, and they gave us food vouchers, so we were able to go to 4 different places, which gave us, they were just like 800 yen, so $8 food vouchers, which you could use as a total or in combined efforts with other vouchers or with your own money. And yeah, that was alright. So we did that on the Friday morning. We went to a food market, basically a food market that was just up the road, a little food court, got some coffee and toast and whatnot. It was alright. We then walked to Chiyoda, Hibiya, for the Godzilla Square, for the statue. They had a Godzilla statue. I was looking up on Google Maps, and bada bing, bada boom, there was that stuff there. We'd already planned this well in advance. So we walked there, enjoyed our little stay looking at the Godzilla. They had a Wendy's right next to it, which we went to lunch there about 2 hours later, because then we walked from the Godzilla Square, where we walked down a pathway that involved a bunch of old movie posters. It almost looked like it was a recreation of some place from the 60s or 70s. They had a poster for Marooned, which I have on Blu-ray, which was really cool. But we ended up going to the Sanrio store in Nishiginza. It was basically just a whole floor full of Sanrio stuff. Hello Kitty, or whatever the other characters are, Gudetama. That one was more for my partner because she loves Hello Kitty, but I like Gudetama, so I still bought some stuff there. That was quite nice. I bought a keychain and a magnet for a friend, but it was nice. It was nice and warm too. It was a good day to put on sunscreen. We had good 23 to 25 degree days for the first 3 days, the Saturday, Sunday, Monday, because when we first got there it was raining, which I was annoyed by. But it wasn't like heavy rain, but it was fine. But the Friday, beautiful weather. We walked throughout the city towards the National Film Archive, where we spent about an hour there. You really don't need to spend too much time there, which is great. I expected it to kind of go through all of Japan's film history, but they actually have a slide at the start, a plaque, which basically gives you 7 different sections going through the birth of Japanese film from the pre-cinema period to the 1910s, the golden age of silent film in the 20s, the advent of the talkies in the 30s, Japanese film in the wartime from the late 1930s to 1945, post-war golden age from 1945 to the 50s, new trends in Japanese film in the 60s, and Japanese animation. You could film, record, take photos of that whole entire section. They had some great things with different posters, different props. They showed some short films there as well. So you could take photos and videos, so I did take a bunch. They had an extra section which was dedicated to one particular director who I've never seen any of his films, but it had a bunch of his movie posters, some interviews with him as well. So that was nice, but again, that was all in Japanese, so I didn't know what they were saying, so it didn't really interest me too much. But most of the interest for me was all the stuff they had it in English. They had it in several languages, which was great. But they showed so many different variations, highlighting certain actors and directors. Of course, Ozu was presented there, Godzilla. They had a great range of cameras there, showing you how they would do like old, like almost 3D cameras and stuff like that. The amount of stuff that they had there was still really nicely displayed. They had some marionettes. They had a bunch of stuff from Japanese animation showing you how they evolved from like physical animation through to hand drawn. It was really nice. It was a great place to go to, and if you haven't been there and you're big on film, they have some great stuff on display. They have original film reels and film prints, even excerpts from stuff from the Cinematique, from the cinematograph and whatnot. So it really covers a good range of what Japanese film cinema has to offer. We had gone to a store on the way. Which one? We went to Uniqlo on the way, where I bought a Toei Film Company t-shirt, which was nice. But on the way back, we went to, again, Wendy's, where I had a burger and fries and a Coke. We've never been to Wendy's before because, well, at least I haven't. Helene has been to America before, but Wendy's is not an establishment in Australia, so I figured, screw it. We're originally going to go to a sushi train, but we didn't get around to it because we couldn't find one, so we went to Wendy's, and it was nice. And it was across from the Godzilla statue, so I was able to take more pictures and videos of the Godzilla statue, which was really fun. They had some cute chibi drawings basically saying, don't litter, don't be too loud, be respectful of the people around you. We caught a train to Shinjuku. By this stage, we didn't have the JR Rail Pass. We got that on the Monday because that was a 7-day thing, Monday to Sunday, which was great because the second half of our trip relied heavily on it, from Shinkansens to local JR lines, especially when we were in Osaka, because the first 5 days were Tokyo, the second 5 days were Osaka. We saw the giant holographic 3D cat that they had, which my partner had never seen. Like, I've never seen it in the flesh, of course, but I knew of it, so I'm like, hey, great, we'll go there. That'll be really fun. It didn't capture very well on camera, I think because of the frame rate of the animation, so I don't know how well it's going to come out video-wise. But we looked around, there was some posters for Evangelion, a couple of other things, where we eventually walked to the video market, which was in Nishi Shinjuku. A lot of places start with Nishi on my photo tags for some reason. And the video market was great for someone like me who buys a lot of boutique Blu-rays that are imports. In my Japan haul, I showcased a lot of what I got, including like Texas Chainsaw The Next Generation, a Bee Gees movie where they're playing the Sgt. Peppers. There was so much variety. There was some Australian releases, US releases, UK releases. Again, the kind of stuff that, as an Australian, I have to import a lot from. But it was just nice to see such a great range, and they were decently priced. Some were great prices, some were not so great, but, that's what it's like to import. Like, Texas Chainsaw was 5,500 yen, which is $55, maybe 60, which, debatably, do you want to spend that money? But for me, I actually deliberately went to get that because that came with the director's cut, which I wanted both versions because I don't have either. So it was better than importing a UK version of just the theatrical cut. But the guy there who owns the place was really nice, let me film some stuff there as well. He even gave me a partial discount because if you spend over 50,000 yen, basically over $50, you can come back with a 10% off discount. And he just applied it immediately because he's like, well, you guys are tourists, you're not going to come back. So, you've bought a bunch of shit, here's a discount. So I ended up getting Fast Company, which was a Cronenberg film, discounted from like 1,800 yen down to like 400 yen, which is great because it's like the only Cronenberg film I don't have. And to get it as a DVD, I was like, that's fine, I just want it. It's great to have it. But there was such a great range of stuff there, and I was really happy to see the kind of films that they had on display. Some of them were quite pricey, though. They had Psycho Gorman there for $137.50. Well, 10,000, 3,000. Oh my god, 13,750. It was over $100 for Psycho Gorman, which is nuts. But they had all kinds of sections there. You had your more risque, dirtier film selection. You had stuff like Godzilla films. They had Godzilla versus the Sea Monster, which is the US Blu-ray. That one's Ebura Horror of the Deep, which I know a friend of mine loves that film. He had a bunch of signed posters as well, one that was by Romero. Just a bunch of great variation of images and like props and stuff that you could look at. Apparently Gaspar Noé was there because he said Video Market is the best, and there's an image of him being there, which is nuts. They had a big xenomorph to welcome you, a Texas Chainsaw Mask to welcome you, a signed mask from the Devil's Rejects. It was a good selection of stuff, but then we continued through Shinjuku to the Godzilla Tower, the Toho Cinemas that has the big Godzilla head. Unfortunately, the Godzilla head was basically closed to the public. I don't know if that was just after a certain time of day they close it, because last time I was there back in 2019, we were able to go up and look at it. But we were there by 8 o'clock, or maybe by 6 o'clock. I think by 6 o'clock, because when every hour Godzilla lights up and blows smoke and roars, we couldn't hear him roar from the inside, but I was able to get video footage, which hopefully will be overlaid on screen right now, so there's no use showing the audio. But they had a window cleaner come by and actually clean the window, so they're obviously used to the factor of tourists coming up at that time to take videos. So we had written journals of our trip, and I utilized the shadow of that to be able to get better footage of Godzilla lighting up and blowing smoke. But yeah, it was cool. It's just great to see it again. It's been all these years, and it was great to show Helene, so it was just something nice. They had added some more stuff to their Godzilla museum thing, where they added more posters for like Godzilla -1 and some others that have come out since 2019, as well as the factor of they had like these physical props of Godzilla and who else was there? King, I can't remember his name, but they're on the screen. You had Rodan, you had Anguirus, King Caesar, I think it is. For some reason, he's just there. So this is the Hotel Gracery Shinjuku, which you can stay at. They have a bunch of figurines and props. They just have a no admittance sign. Thank you for visiting the hotel. Currently, due to various circumstances, the terrace area, including Godzilla Terrace and Gracery Lounge's terrace seated, are closed. We apologize for any trouble or inconvenience this has caused. So, my benefit there is the fact that we weren't staying there. You could stay. They had some Godzilla-themed rooms, but they were quite pricey. And we're like, well, we're already staying at a place, about half an hour away, so we're fine. But yeah. And then we walked around Shinjuku, went to the Godzilla store where they had a big version of Godzilla from Godzilla -1, which was just great to see that in the flesh as well. I love how they embrace Godzilla in so many forms. They had chibi Godzillas and plushies up the wazoo. They dressed up Godzilla for Halloween because it's Halloween season. And then we walked through Shinjuku and found a bar, which was called Sushi Bar, where you could order sushi, and it was kind of like an all-you-can-eat kind of place where you just could keep ordering stuff, and they would literally make it in front of you. And they were really nice. They had an English option as well. I highly recommend, if you go to Japan, get Google Chrome and get Google Translate. If you have Google Chrome, they translate the pages automatically, or you can have that setting so it can translate to whatever language you speak. Obviously, for me, English, but Google Lens was convenient, so I could look at certain things to find out what they actually were. It's not always accurate, but it's good enough. I could always just send a message to my cousin who lives in Japan, who speaks the language fluently, who could also translate it for me. But yeah, so that was great. We had our meal, we had our Godzilla images, we saw the movie market. I also got Orgy of the Dead and Tales from the Crypt Demon Knight, so yeah, not bad overall. And then we caught the train back to the hotel and went to sleep. And that was day one. Very fun start to the trip. A lot of walking in, already aching and in pain. But it was nice. And the hotel that we were at was good as well because they had a washer-dryer, so we were able to utilize that. The bathroom was nice as well. I don't think I took any footage from inside the hotel room, but to be honest, I don't think that's really necessary. And that was the end of day one. So I'll see you in day two. Adios. be as touristy as possible right now.
I'll buy cigarettes here.